It started with a phone call. At exactly 2:36 a.m., the local police department in a quiet Virginia town received a frantic call from a woman sobbing uncontrollably. "My husband's been shot. He's not breathing. Oh my God, please hurry," she cried. The dispatcher, calm and steady, walked her through the steps until help arrived. When officers reached the scene, they found the woman, Jessica Lambert, clad in a silk nightgown stained with what appeared to be blood, kneeling beside her husband's lifeless body on the bedroom floor. Her screams echoed through the otherwise silent house, and she clung to the medics who tried to separate her from him. The husband, 42-year-old Michael Lambert, a well-respected local businessman, was pronounced dead at the scene from a single gunshot wound to the chest. Jessica claimed she had been asleep and awoke to the sound of a gunshot. According to her, she found Michael already dead and the back door wide open. She immediately assumed it was a break-in gone wrong. At first glance, it seemed like a tragic home invasion. But something was off. Detectives began their investigation immediately. Michael's family was devastated. He had no known enemies, no debts, and certainly no reason for anyone to want him dead. His employees described him as generous, fair, and calm. His friends said he was a man of routine. He never missed a morning jog, always brought flowers home every Friday for Jessica, and was meticulous about home security, which is why it struck the lead detective, Officer Marissa Blake, as strange that Michael would forget to set the alarm the night he was murdered. Stranger still was Jessica's behavior. While grief often manifests in unpredictable ways, Jessica's tears came and went with uncanny precision. She wept bitterly when the police arrived, but by mid-morning, she was already speaking to insurance agents and arranging for Michael's will to be read. That same afternoon, she asked detectives whether she could access his accounts. Suspicion grew when the coroner's report revealed something troubling. Michael had been shot at close range. There were no signs of forced entry, and nothing was stolen. Jessica's story about a break-in didn't add up. No fingerprints were found on the doorknobs or windows except those belonging to the couple. No muddy footprints, no signs of a scuffle. And Jessica herself had no injuries. Officer Blake dug deeper. She went through the couple's phone records, finances, and social media. She found that Michael's phone had been active just an hour before the murder, receiving a text message from an unknown number that read, "It's done." Even more puzzling was the deletion of Jessica's messages around the same time. A warrant was obtained for further access, and that's when things began to unravel. Bank records showed Jessica had recently withdrawn large sums of cash, over $30,000 in the span of 3 months. When asked, she claimed it was for home renovations, but contractors hadn't been hired, and no permits had been pulled. Neighbors reported seeing a black SUV parked in front of the Lambert house late at night several times in the weeks leading up to the murder, always around the same time Michael was away on business. Surveillance footage from a nearby home captured the same SUV pulling into the driveway on 2 occasions. The vehicle's license plate led to a man named Travis Keene, a former convict with a history of assault and firearm possession. Travis claimed to be Jessica's friend from high school. When brought in for questioning, he was jumpy and evasive. But under pressure, he cracked. Travis confessed that he had been in a relationship with Jessica for almost a year. They had met online, and it quickly turned physical. Jessica told him her husband was abusive, controlling, and cruel. She said Michael wouldn't give her a divorce and threatened to ruin her if she ever left him. None of this was true, but Travis believed her. Desperate to save her, he agreed when she suggested they get rid of Michael. Jessica promised him they'd be together afterward, free to live off the life insurance payout of nearly $750,000. Travis admitted he was the one who pulled the trigger, but insisted Jessica planned everything. She gave him the house layout, the time Michael would be asleep, and even left the back door unlocked. She told him exactly where to aim. What Travis didn't know was that Jessica had another lover too. One who lived 3 states away and had no idea she was married. Messages between Jessica and this third man revealed she had told him Michael died of a heart attack, and she'd finally be free. Confronted with Travis's confession and the damning messages, Jessica's demeanor shifted dramatically. The weeping widow mask slipped. She denied everything at first, claimed Travis was obsessed with her and acting alone. But the evidence was overwhelming. Not only had she planned her husband's murder, she had manipulated multiple men simultaneously and moved money through several hidden accounts. The final nail in the coffin came from Michael himself. Unbeknownst to Jessica, Michael had recently become suspicious of her behavior. In the weeks before his death, he installed hidden cameras around the house. The footage recovered from those cameras showed Jessica sneaking out at night to meet Travis, and even one chilling recording of her practicing tears in front of a mirror. In another clip, she could be heard whispering into the phone, "Soon it'll all be over, and we can be together." Jessica was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and insurance fraud. Her trial became a media circus. She appeared in court dressed in black, clinging to tissues, giving heart-wrenching statements about love and loss. But the jury wasn't buying it. They saw through the performance. Her lies, her manipulation, and the calculated way she tried to play the grieving widow backfired spectacularly. She was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life without parole. Travis received 35 years after taking a plea deal and testifying against her. What shocked the public the most wasn't just the murder, but the cold, methodical way Jessica orchestrated it. Her tears were an act, her grief rehearsed. She had turned love into a weapon and used it to manipulate not one, but multiple men. In interviews after the trial, Michael's family spoke of his kindness, how he had always believed in love and second chances. He had forgiven Jessica for an earlier affair years ago, never imagining she would repay that with betrayal and death. Officer Blake later admitted that the hardest part of the case was seeing how convincingly Jessica played the role of victim. She was a master manipulator, she said. But in the end, even the best performance can't erase the truth. The Lambert house remained empty for months. No one wanted to live in a place stained by such darkness. It was eventually sold quietly to a young couple who had no idea what had happened there. But locals remember. The story became legend. People still tell it as a warning that evil can wear the face of someone you love, and sometimes, the person crying the loudest is the one who pulled the trigger. Jessica sits in a maximum security prison today, alone. Her lovers are gone, her money seized, and her dreams of freedom shattered. She writes letters sometimes, claiming innocence, blaming everyone else, Travis, the police, even Michael himself. None are answered. The world moved on. But in the minds of those who knew Michael, the real tragedy wasn't just his death, but the trust he placed in the woman who would become his killer. The footage Michael left behind now serves as a chilling reminder of how appearances can deceive. His last days, unknowingly spent beside a woman plotting his end, haunt those who watch it. In one video, just a week before his murder, he sits in his study, working late. Jessica walks in, kisses his cheek, and whispers something inaudible. He smiles, not knowing it was the same mouth that had already sealed his fate. Her face, calm and loving, hides a storm of deceit. That image, her gentle kiss before the knife twisted, would stay etched in the minds of detectives, family, and everyone who followed the case. In the end, Jessica tried to play the grieving widow, but the mask cracked. And when it did, the monster beneath was revealed. She didn't just murder her husband. She staged a performance. But justice doesn't clap for a curtain call. It waits, silent, watching, until the truth demands its own spotlight.